Yo, what is up, boys and girls? Welcome to another match analysis slash game analysis video. This time we have TLPH versus ONIC. I posted something. I posted a community post asking you guys which match I should analyze or react to, and you guys chose TLPH versus ONIC. A lot of you guys said it was a quick game, so I shouldn't do it, but I still want to do it. I'm a big fan of TLPH. Would love to see how they got it done against ONIC PH. And I'll be honest with you. Usually, I do these things without having knowledge at all of like the picks of the result. I know TLPH won 2-0 because I was pretty invested in this game. It was during a break of MPL ID where I watched game number 1. I glanced at it a couple of times, saw the draft, and I told some of my friends in a group chat that I have, where I talk about MPL stuff, that I like TLPH's draft better in game 1. But then I didn't watch game 2 because break was over. Continued on with MPL ID casting. So yeah, I forgot though what all the picks were. I remember there was Lukas for TLPH. I remember Loyi from Sanji, but forgot the other picks. And I really just glanced at the game here and there, so I didn't really get to see the entire thing. This is where we get to analyze, you know, what went on in the game itself. Because even though it's a quick one, I don't know how quick. That I don't know. I know the score and I know the draft, and I know SANFORD made a crazy Lukas play. That's why I remember the Lukas. So Suyo with Carl. All right, Suyo Loyi combination. Very good stuff. That combo. If you want to play rank, guys, Suyo plus Loyi. Just charge the Blade Surge right as the diversion is gonna teleport you, and then you get an insta stun almost, an insta dash stun to anyone who will be there. The Selena is also something I remember. Okay, now I remember it because the Selena got picked again. All right, boys. Let's just have, because I already know most of the drafts coming in, I think we'll use this time to talk about, well, for me to give you guys my opinion on ONIC PH, why they haven't been doing too well. I think in this game, in particular, it's another example of ONIC PH having a way to play a gimmick pick, right? I mean, like, Selena is a gimmick pick. You can say whatever you want about, like, oh, how good Super Prince is on the Selena. Selena is still a gimmick pick, right? The only reason they can make it work is because they have Super Prince. And it worked the first few times, sure. But that's the thing about gimmick picks, no? It's still very, very hard to execute. You still have to be kind of perfect on this pick. And once you play it in MPL PH a couple of times, once you play it in Snapdragon a couple of times, other teams will already know how to read it out. This isn't a surefire mage win anymore. No mage is a surefire mage win, but I'm not a big fan of the Selena. I don't like Selena personally. I understand why you would pick it for Super Friends, but there are other picks that Super Friends can play that will get them more success, that has more things to rely on. Selena, once you miss your arrow, once you don't land those traps or don't have those, or if you lose it in the early game, you're done, right? The main win con for Selena is you go even at least, or snowball optimal win con. You go even in the mid game, in the early game you play for mid game, and then you try to take control with all the vision with the traps and everything. I don't know. I think ONIC PH are relying too heavily on gimmicks now. Like, it used to be these picks come out randomly and then teams would be like, oh fuck, we have to deal with it. Now it's like, oh shit, they picked up the Selena again. It's like, it's getting kind of normal now to see these picks, and people are anticipating it. So it's no longer a curveball. And when your gimmick and cheese picks are not a curveball, it loses value. That's the whole point of having a gimmick cheese pick. It's a shocker. It's not a shocker anymore. The Mathilda mid is another good example for ONIC PH that they kept on trying, and it worked a few times again because they know how to play it really well. Firstly, they executed really well, but also their opponents weren't fully ready for it, especially in a region like MPL PH where teams adapt really quick. It's very ambitious to think that this will work every time, especially against TLPH. Now, maybe if they were up against AP Brand, maybe that would work. Even then, I think it'll be tough. It's a Bruno, Lukas. Yeah, this pick, I remember when I was watching this game, I saw the Lukas into the CC and I was like, wow. SANFORD wants to pick up the Lukas against a CC, 36% win rate. But, it's SANFORD. I'm gonna skip through, this. The Hylos comes in. All right. So, yeah, based on the draft, I actually when I first saw this, I like TLPH for sure. Like they just have a meta draft, you know? Like ONIC, they also have meta. They also have really good picks with the Joy and the Granger. But without mid control, having a Hylos in Rome too, when you have a Selena, guys, and you play ranked, usually you want to combo the Selena with someone who can clear the mid lane quick. If you lose out the mid control, it's just going to be so tough for you to rotate around and to do anything in the early game. It doesn't matter how good your jungler is. If he doesn't have help from your mid or roam because you have no mid pressure, it'll be tough.
Might actually just take control of the first 4 to 5 minutes. But if ONIC Philippines keep it close enough,
and the first wave doesn't count here technically, right? I was just talking about mid control. ONIC PH got the mid control early, but it was because the Jawhead, when you have a Jawhead in your team, he'll go and leash, so he won't actually stay in mid and help out the mid laner to clear the first wave. So first wave Selena, if you're up against Jawhead, sure, you can still win out that mid control because you have your roamer with you. But after that, especially against a Lo Yi, you should be the one getting zoned. You should be the one getting poked away. Especially, I think, what, level 3, level 4, level 4. Setup for Turtle is going to be really tough to clear out that mid.
What is that? He wants a duel against Kelra?
That's right. Yeah, usually I think that's the go-to for Brunos. Really just maximize crit.
Nothing too crazy emblem-wise. I mean, Lethal Ignition, I guess, it's kind of whoa, but I think it's kind of normal for Selena.
But different metagame.
Brave Smite for Lo Yi too, kind of the standard now. A lot of Lo Yis go for Brave Smite. Some still go for damage, but in this kind of meta, going for Brave Smite makes a lot of sense. You have that built-in shielding with your Union reaction. You might as well get a bit more value out of it. So this is what you see Super Frizz just completely give out on the mid lane. He knows he's not gonna have, you know, better clear than Sanji and Lo Yi. He gives control away from the mid lane completely just to get more setups, and he technically doesn't need level 4 to get ult, right? It's another. Oh, this skirmish was actually just really messy. It was really forced by ONIC, I feel. Oh, wow, really good from Sanji there. Should be dead.
Caught here in a pretty bad spot. That's Sanji, no way out. SANFORD and Carl TC, they're dancing around the CC. Almost take out Kirk.
Great red tree from Carl as usual. Good control though. Yeah, the first fight. I don't know, I'm gonna have to replay that, chat. All right, my dudes, I'm gonna have to replay this. It really felt forced. Like Carl and JP were already on it. Super Friends was zoned away by JP. Great positioning, by the way, by JP. And the mid control, having the mid is really good. Really good. And the reason it's really good is because it kind of zones Super Friends away here. Well, in usual cases, I guess. Here, actually, it didn't really zone Super Friends, but he was still playing kind of safe. Usually, once you clear out the mid, that means you have the control over this bush. You have control over this bush, and you can, you know, play here to kind of zone whoever wants to walk up, especially on the Lo Yi. But here, Brusco was already in a position where he would spot Sanji. Sanji walks up, but still, Super Friends, because it's a Selena, you don't land your arrow, you technically can't go in. No mid control, as I said earlier. Brusco here, even though he is here, it isn't really control. It's more of a... Oh, it's very forced, I feel. You know, it's very forced. He's not level 3. Sorry, he's not level 4. He's already used Revitalize. King Kong wants to come in for a fight as well. It's very chaotic. They didn't know what they wanted to do. They wanted to go for JP and Sanji, but they also didn't, right? Like, King Kong was just focused on these guys. He didn't even bother to retry. But they got outplayed. And again, I think it's just because of the mid control that I said earlier. Just not having that mid control so that they... Usually for ONIC, they would always win out the mid control. That's why they always go for like the crazy Lo Yi Gatots, Farsas in the mid lane, so that they establish mid control, set up for neutral objective, and win out, with King Kong being so much mechanically better than everybody else. But because they lack that mid control, doesn't matter if you are mechanically better, because mechanics can only get you so far. If the enemy team has slightly less mechanics, or, you know, the level of mechanics is slightly less, but their macro is better, their setup is better, they're going to be the ones who win it out in pro play.
Walk away with 2 kills to balance things out. 1 onto Sanji and 1 onto JP.
Oh, JP jumping on the Brusco.
They still got 2 kills there, but it was a kill plus a turtle. And again, right, like the whole key for ONIC PH here, especially with the Selena, is you would like to get more than that, like more skirmishes. And by the way, Oheb in this lane is playing it so well. on the Bruno, winning out against the Granger, forcing the flicker out. JP super active on the Jawhead. Props to JP.
Oh, I can't believe he tried to do that.
Yeah.
JP's fault.
And I like
How dare you?
Keller backtrack. They were just like, wait, I'm out of here. Sudden use of the flicker.
JP, stop.
No.
That was basically Keller just like pushing it to the edge. Like if he can kind of,
Yeah.
what do you mean? You know,
He
can
wanted to
afford it.
Rhapsody out of there.
Yeah.
Make it a free escape, but nope. Daddy JP forced Keller out of you.
Really good lane here by Hoyt, man. Just forcing the lane, utilizing the Granger against itself.
About 20 seconds until
That's one of the ways you can try to beat Granger, guys. You have to take the lane very, very slow. You will end up losing the gold crab a lot, by the way, if you don't have roam help. But you need to freeze. You need to try to just freeze. Grangers will always try to shove in the lane, and if whoa, super friends went aggressive. Yeah, so Grangers will always try to shove in the lane so that they can get pressure where they could utilize to get the gold crab. You could utilize that against the Granger. Pop him in a bad spot, ask your roamer to come, or just, you know, poke him when he tries to get close to the wave. But yeah, again, this is due to having no mid control, guys. The neutral objectives have just basically been going for free. Even the first one, it really should have been more free than it was. ONIC PH forced it, and they didn't go for the normal trade. But the normal trade was... wait, holy shit. Let me just go back. I'm sorry, all right? I just realized this was the strat that I believe Aurora utilized against King Kong in their first win against King Kong. No.
Actually bounced off of King Kong. If Sanford did
So the pathing isn't... it isn't the same way Aurora played it.
that bounce, he already knew.
I think TLPH didn't also path the way that Aurora did because they would already know they have a low Yi against a Selena, so they would automatically already have the mid control. With mid control, that means King Kong is going to have a tough time also maneuvering over to the enemy jungle, to a TLPH side jungle. So maybe that's why they didn't go for it. They knew they had control anyways. They didn't need to do it anyways, and then they got turtle. All right, sorry about that. Just had to check again if they did anything special in like the pathing department to shut down King Kong, but... Picks after picks here again. They try to go for a pick because that's all they can do right now. They can't go for any neutral objective fights. Sanji gets poke, go for insta free turtle. They get the turtle and then they go straight for purple again, stopping any sort of rotation that King Kong would want to try to do. Bruce Cole. Ah, Sanford's out of the bush.
Expect this. Sanford comes out, and I think that might be a giveaway.
Nope, it looked like Liquid planned for a move that would have been valid maybe 5 seconds earlier. But ONIC rotated
Wasted
out.
diversion, but it happens, you know, it happens. Unlucky. Was out of the bush.
That's a super Prince omnipresence.
Omnipresent.
He's just aware of the map. Is like, they're gonna try to diversion. Check us out.
That too. Carl TZ now over King Kong in terms of EXP. Already, I think 25% through level 9 is Carl, while King Kong is still just like
War Axe first item on Carl.
level 9.
Yeah.
So where ONIC will get the
We've been seeing that as the new favorite first item for Suyo nowadays. Go Fury Hammer and go for War Axe. You don't go for the full Hunter Strike as first item. The sustain gives you much more value. See, you need the help of your roamer, by the way, guys. If you want to try to, you know, freeze up the waves against the Granger, you need the help of your roamer. Because if you freeze your wave against the Granger always and you don't have the help of the roamer, Gold Crab's still gonna go towards the Granger and he's gonna have the lead. Great rotation. That's what I was talking about. The diversion Blade Surge combo. Charge your Blade Surge before the diversion gets you there, and then once you're teleported, you let it go, and it's instant. It's instant, right as the diversion comes around. There's no way to react to that. You have to predict the Blade Surge at that point.
This is ONIC.
It's just, honestly just clean gameplay from TLPH. Didn't like JP knowing when to rotate to the top lane without giving away too much. Again, here, defending, not letting Oheb getting dove, not letting Oheb get dove. Oheb clearing the wave. Yeah, really good anti-Selena, anti-ONIC PH with this composition gameplay. They're just shutting down every kind of trade that ONIC would want to do, and they're playing their own game, playing for the normal, you know, meta game. A lot of teams get too tunnel vision on just playing through their winning conditions in this meta, which is just, you know, neutral objectives, that they forget the other team could just trade with your purple buff, other side of the map. But here, they know exactly when to deny while also playing for the neutral objectives. Just take a look at this control as well, right? Carl TZ doesn't rush into it. It's a Suyo. As long as you get him space, that will never be a 50-50. It ends up being one kill over, but again, they get the neutral objective. And by the way, this isn't as simple as I put it, all right? It isn't as simple as I put it. The reason they were able to deny ONIC PH is also because individually they're good. OHEB is winning in the lane now. A lot of times, even when your roamer walks up top and helps you after you've frozen your lane, you will still lose out against the Granger. OHEB is not that kind of gold laner though. He will win out that lane if you help him. And Kelra was forced to recall already here as they got the turtle, so there was no possible trade, and that's why ONIC PH were kind of forced to contest for the turtle. There was no trade to go for. Usually for ONIC PH, whenever, you know, they are caught in a situation like this with the 3,000 gold lead on the enemy team, turtle 3, ONIC wouldn't commit for the turtle, just like they did earlier. They would try to look for trades around the map, and usually trades would reveal itself to them through the individual prowess that they have, like the individual laning. Kelra will be winning the top lane, the gold lane matchup, so they could always just rotate up top, bully the gold laner, get an advantage there, and it trades for the turtle, for the third turtle, or any turtle. But here, again, TLPH have done so well strategizing and also individually matching ONIC PH that they couldn't do it. They couldn't look for any trade. No window was opening for them.
Beautiful move there for TL.
The beast gets slain. The young goat about to commit Grand Theft Orange.
Because like, how impressive did ONIC PH look at M6? Through like their mechanics, their decision making, all that, it looked perfect because they also saw those windows. They created those windows first, right? But if the enemy team can close those windows, keep it shut, you can't really, you know, look for those opportunities. You can't really make those decisions. You end up having to make a one-dimensional decision, which is, fuck, let's just contest. It's less optimal. It's still a gamble, but I mean, it's a gamble they could win, but less optimal. And by this moment, when you have a Selena on your team and he's behind 5,000 gold, that's the play. That's the play I saw on TikTok. SANFORD, holy shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, I gotta replay that. What a way, man. I think a lot of people have already used this kind of combo, but this is the first time I've seen it in pro play. I don't think I've ever seen it in MPL ID, by the way, because a lot of the Lukases are in the jungle, and even when they're in XP, do they use Flicker? I don't know, I forgot. But yeah, really good, really good. It's a cho. He used it as a cho, basically. Kick the guy back. Dude. By the way, guys, I've been telling you, SANFORD's best player, best XP of all time. Best XP in the world. Mechanically, of all time, in my opinion. It's my favorite XP. So good, man, so good. Yeah, dude, the flicker knockback. That's a really cool combo. Buys the roam boots, something we've been talking about for a long time, since before M6 as well. If you want an additional gold with assists after the 8-minute mark, is it 8-minute mark? I think it is 8-minute mark. 8 or 9? I forgot. But yeah, just go for roam boots. You get additional gold without having the usual roam boots restrictions. And then now they start grouping up. When they already have like proper waves, they just group up, right? Actually, no, they don't even need the proper waves here. I think at this point, TLPH don't care if ONIC PH get a trade. It's like, sure, you can get a tier 1, we get a Lord. At this point, none of your trades will be worth it. But again, because none of the trades are worth it, ONIC PH decide, we gotta try to walk up, we gotta try to open it up at least, or look for a pickoff, look for one of them to escape and for them to get a kill. 2,000 gold lead for Carl there, individual lead. The mid lane is looking bleak as well. When the mid lane has a lead that big, guys, because the mid lane doesn't usually have like that kind of lead, you know? Usually you see a big lead from the gold, from the jungle, maybe even XP. But in the mid lane, usually it's always even. It doesn't matter. Even if your team is super ahead, usually the mid lane can still, you know, hold himself, because you don't get a lot of kills on mid usually. So, and you're usually very safe as a mid laner. But the fact that Sanji has that big of a lead shows you again that this Selena gimmick and these gimmick drafts for ONIC PH can still work, don't get me wrong, but shouldn't be their main draft. It almost seems like their main template draft now to get games, or to, you know, yeah, to actually try to win an MPL are their gimmicks, which I think is wasted. Because these gimmicks, these cheese picks can work. They're great cheese picks. Super Prince is an amazing Selena player. But you can't just utilize it every game, or, you know, most of the games, these Mathildas as well, especially after just showing it in Snapdragon. People are going to read you out. People are going to put in the time to
flickers.
Flickers in, Carl Teasy's on.
Strategize against it.
Will decide to back off.
Okay, get great wave control there. No turret with the first Lord, but that's to be expected.
Right now with what Team Liquid are doing, although SANFORD showing a little bit of over-eagerness, committed the flicker, missed the combo. Good thing he wasn't punished right away by ONIC Philippines. However, what we are seeing here is the effects, I feel like, of, I don't want to blame it on one pick, but the Selena Abyssal arrows haven't landed, and it's been clear, especially here in the Philippines, that if the arrows don't consistently land, then it just doesn't work. Super Prince was able to get a kill and get some vision, yeah, but all he's doing is...
There's nothing too crazy for the items, though. And then JP going in there is... Oh my god, he baits King Kong in! Dude, JP's fault! JP's fault, chat! Oh, dude. Damn!
The monster mage folds.
Well played, well played. That was... I thought it was gonna be a mistake. Holy moly.
JP,
Oh, man. King Kong walked into it. Yeah. I mean, ONIC, even ONIC, a team like ONIC, a team as good as them individually, right? Like King Kong, for all these players looked untouchable at M6.
the monster
But when you put them in a tough spot, 10,000 gold behind, even they will look human.
Liquid Philippines looking to penetrate.
Want to end it right here, right now. They have a lot more seconds on Brusco. I don't think they can clear.
They ended at 11 minutes? Yeah, I knew it was quick. I didn't know it was 11 minutes.
Impossible defense. There goes the 1-0.
Wow. Just a stellar game plan from the start. Again, denying all the ONIC win conditions while putting them their win conditions on top.
The status quo.
Then
TLP
capitalizing on a mistake. Wow. 11 minutes against ONIC PH.
all alone. And
I know they're not doing too hot, but
that's going to be
11 minutes, 11,000 gold lead is
Status quo.
so crazy. And I think, honestly, in this game, I have to just stick to what I said in the draft. The Selena, these cheese picks have got to stop being the main drafts for ONIC. Like, they can come around, maybe especially for like game 3 in a series, it would send a big curveball to their opponents. But starting off the game with the Selenas, after trying the Selenas and having failed with the Selenas, the Mathildas having failed with the Mathildas, doesn't look like the best plan. It really doesn't, you know? Again, it's cheese for a reason. It's not meant to be an every game thing. Tell me what you guys think, though. If you guys think I'm wrong, if you disagree with what I'm saying, if you think TLPH did something that I didn't notice as well, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to, read your comments, discuss over, and tell me what you think is wrong with ONIC PH other than, the draft. Are they individually playing wrong? Is it just teams and PH improving so fast that they can't keep up with it? Or, yeah, so would love to know your take on it. Comment, like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'm going to be recording the next one, so you can also go and watch the next video, which is game number 2.